What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, I sat down with a guest who used to be a professional soccer player, made the transition to real estate, and in less than 5 years, right? Less than 5 years, he has built a team that does 100 deals a year, plus a brokerage with over 50 agents doing more deals. And he's about to open up a lot more office, scaling big in all ways. Welcome to the show, Cyrus Mohseni. All right, welcome to the show today, Cyrus. How are you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good. We are calling from opposite ends of the coast, so always cool to get people, in so many different areas on here talking about real estate, investing, sales, marketing, all that good stuff. Why don't you give our listeners a little bit of your bio, just a quick version, and a little bit about what you are doing today and how you got there?
Yeah, so I little quick version about me and who I am. I own a top performing real estate team here in Southern California. We are opening offices actually in a couple other major cities across the country. Really quickly here, that was my big move. It's going to be my big move for 2022. I'm National Association of Realtors 30 under 30. I do about 100 deals a year, and I've been in the business for only about 5 years.
Awesome. Well, way to build quickly. Not everyone or most people can't do that. So hats off to you for that. How did you build it so quickly? How did you go from 0 to 100 deals a year in less than 5 years?
So I think that it's important to understand where I came from as far as how I got here, right? Because I so before real estate, I used to play soccer for a living. And really that stemmed from I always go back to really my childhood when I was 10, 11 years old. My grandma, my uncle, and my dad all passed away in the same year. So it was my mom's mom, my mom's brother, and my mom's husband, my dad. They all passed away in the same year, and that's what really drove me to go and play soccer, because it was the only thing that I wanted to do that I wanted to do in general, because it got my mind off of everything that was going on with home, right? So I'd go to train, and I'd train in the morning, and then I'd train after school, and then after school, and that's all I would do. And then about when I was 12, 13, I found out I could play professional soccer. I thought I never realized, I think I never understood that going from going from amateur to pro, it's not it's doable if you put your mind to it. And so that's all I focused on growing up. I mean, I did everything and then some to become a professional athlete. And when I was 18 years old, I moved, or when I was 17, 18 years old, I moved to Europe, and I started playing professional soccer. Fast forward to about 5 years ago, I came home during an off season, and I was literally driving home from lunch, and someone made an illegal left-hand turn and T-boned me, and I got in a car accident, and that ended my career right there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I never knew, I did not know I was going to be in real estate. Long story short, I was playing soccer. I thought my whole life plan was very simple. It was play professional soccer, play until I'm about 40, retire, coach professional soccer, and be done with it. And that was my goal. I was going to play professional in Europe and move on and go from there. And obviously that changed. So then I got into real estate. I didn't think I was going to get into real estate again. I during my off seasons, I would go to some sort of class, and I always tell people, like, I would go to like my French class or Italian class. I fail both of those, like, and I just go to some sort of schooling to learn. I love learning. I really truly hate school. Like, I love soaking up knowledge. So I'd always try to find something. And this particular year during the off season, going from playing I was playing in Iceland at the time, going from playing in Iceland to playing here back in the US. When I came home, I started taking my real estate classes, not because I wanted to be in real estate, just because I thought it might be useful, because I'm going to be home. I want to buy real estate. So I said, why not just get my real estate license and go from there? And then that year in December, I got in my car accident. And then the next month, they told me I couldn't play anymore. And it just kind of like ended up happening, right? I didn't know what else I was going to do.
Wow, it's always interesting to have athletes on for a number of reasons. We've had two on the show recently, actually, both NFL players. I'm trying to look up the episode number here. Actually, Bo Blankenship, he was on episode 308, and then I believe Anthony Trucks, he played football as well, American football, not to be confused with soccer.
Yeah.
He was on episode 314. So so we've had two NFL players. One of them, their career ended by injury, similar to yours. Another, they got to the top level, but didn't make it beyond. And the interesting thing to me, the parallel between real estate and sports, is the opportunity. I'm sure like the difference between the best soccer player in the world and the guy who's almost there but not good enough to get a 7-figure contract. Not a whole lot of difference in ability. Like there definitely is a little bit, right? And obviously the guy with the big contract's better, but I think the difference is so small that most untrained eyes, if you took off their names, jersey, identity, they wouldn't notice the difference. And the point is, in sports, and like starting up a venture capital company, like, yes, you can make 7, 8, 9 figures, but man, it's really like the top percent of a percent of the people that capture all the benefit. Whereas in real estate investing or in sales, you obviously need to be good and should strive to be good, but you can be far from the best and still make a ton of money in
it. Yeah, and I mean, yeah. So it's very interesting. I think sports and business are very synonymous, just in general. From like, for me specifically, I always tell like my agents, or I always tell anybody that I talk to about this, is like every day when I played soccer, I'd get up early, I'd go to the gym, and I'd do my work, and I'd train. And then for one game, on the weekend, or when we weren't in season, I'd just be training just to stay in shape and train, right? And real estate and business just in general is very much like that, right? Business is you have to put in the work, day in and day out to see any results. And I think a lot of people, especially in this industry, in real estate, think that they could come into this industry, sell a couple houses, and then all of a sudden be selling multi-million-dollar houses every single day. And it's just not how it works. You have to put in the day in and day out work. You have to show up every single day. And if you show up every single day, the results will come. But if you don't, it's not going to work for you. And that's very much how sports was. I could have very easily, like, I mean, when I was younger, I was not the best player. When I was like 15, I was on a team that, 13 to 15, I was on a team that we lost like every game 5-0, and I played goalkeeper. Like, I was not the best goalkeeper at all. I just put in the more work than anybody else was willing to do. And that's what got me to the next level. And it's the same thing in real estate. I had no real estate background. I have no family in real estate, but I came into this industry and I put in more work than anybody else is willing to do. And I showed up every single day, and I continue to show up. And that's why my business continues to grow.
Yeah, I think that discipline, I see this a lot. People come from a field or a hobby or, you know, career that requires a lot of discipline, athletes, people in the military, right? And then they come over and, you know, real estate's really one of those areas where if you have that discipline and accountability, don't need someone over your shoulder telling you what to do, you can really take advantage of it. I mean, it doesn't take like a ton of effort. I mean, yes, you got to work at it, but if you put in 2 to 4 hours a day at prospecting for 1 year, you can make six figures right out the gate. And that's if you know no one in the area, if you don't have a lot of money to start, degree even, like it doesn't start with so little resources. Put in, the 4 hours a day expecting I'm searching and working in your business, but I don't know about the game.
Well, yeah, and that's a lot of what I say is like I tell people all the time. I was at uh, a conference, and someone had asked me a question after I was done speaking, and the question was basically like, how do I get out of the business? How do I stop production, so on and so forth? And I said, realize that you're not that special,
Mm,
right? And he kind of looked at me like, what the hell? And like everybody was kind of like, what? And I was like, let's be honest here. I'm me myself. I'm not that special. Like I told you, I did not come from real estate background. I had no real estate knowledge. I knew nothing about real estate 5 years ago. And now I have one of the top producing teams in the country. I'm one of the top agents in the country. Why? I'm not that special. I just put in the work. I just show up every single day. And I told him the same thing. I said, look, you're not that special. So realize that you don't need to be the one doing all of it. And that's
right.
how I operate my business, right? Like my business, I'm very big on like, I say if I can make $100 by letting someone else, do the operations, do XYZ versus making $1,000 and me doing it all, I'll take the $100 every single day of the week. And the reason is because that's scalable, that's growable, right? I can't, I can't do everything forever. But if I want to grow in business in general, right? Like we're talking about a corporation, we're talking about a company. We got my team got Inc. Magazine 5,000 fastest private companies in the country, fastest growing private companies in the country, and that's because everything I build is to build to scale. It's to build so that we can do it at large volumes. And I think a lot of people in this business are focused on what do I need to do, and I'm the key part of this. Are you really? There's a lot of real estate agents. Are you really the key integral part? Does it need to be you? Or can you train somebody to do it so you can build this out to scale?
I agree 100% with you. And where you really see this as a problem, it's not the agent struggling to get to 100 or even 200, right? They're just trying to learn how to get more business, do more sales. It's the agents that are at the 250 level and they think they are business owners, but they really just own their job. They're self-employed. and
Hmm.
and I've seen this because I've been in the industry for about 10 years. The agents who in my first year, who at that time were doing 250K in business, the ones that have not gone out and hired are still doing 250K, maybe 300, right? There's not much potential for growth because there's only so much time you have if you're doing it all. And if you have the attitude that every single one of my clients needs me for every single thing and every part of the sales process, you're absolutely right. Like you have this problem where you are a unicorn then, and if you're a unicorn, you can't hire people to do what you do. So I love that attitude of you're not that special because I do think some of the agents that are stuck at the 2 to 300K level, maybe even a little higher if they're getting higher price points, but I do think they have a little bit of an ego problem, right? That they have trouble letting go.
Well, and that's a very interesting thing is like I tell everybody, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, are you a business owner or are you self-employed? Right? Like a self-employed person is it has to be in their business every single day. A business owner does not have to be, right? Like, and how are you building your business to become a business owner? Do you want to be like very honestly, what's your exit strategy? Like, I don't want to be selling houses for the rest of my life. I don't, right? So I built my business so I don't have to do that. And a lot of it is is foundation so that it's scalable, right? And it's like for me specifically, and for agents that call me and ask me, I had a friend of mine just called me. She lives in Cleveland. She was asking me about this, and I always say the same thing. It's like, sometimes you have to set up the foundation before you do everything else. But at the end of the day, it's about scalability, and it's about taking your hands off the wheel, letting someone else drive. I have a friend, and she's one of the top agents here. She works with mainly Chinese buyers here in South Orange County, and it was one of the first things when I first got in the industry. I saw what she was doing, and I was like, whoa, wait a second, like, why is she doing that, right? And what she did was she hired a driver. She hired a driver because she found out that her time is better spent not driving. And when you think about that, yeah, she has to put out a couple $1,000, if not more, every single month to have someone drive her around everywhere. But what she realizes is her value of time is worth more, right? So she can use that time that she would be driving and focusing on the road to be closing more deals. And it's the same concept here, right? When you're building a business, as a real estate business, as a just a business in general, your time value of money, right? Like what is your time, and what's that value in money for it, right? Like, and if it equates to, if your hourly rate is $20 an hour, then keep doing the $20 an hour work. If it's not, then hand it off, let it go, because you don't need to do it.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's something that my wife, business partner Carrie Scholl, actually, teaches a lot to people. Is like, sit down and figure out your hourly rate, and figure out the things that are that you could hire for a lot lower, or that you don't enjoy, and move those onto someone else's plate. And that's really the philosophy that's helped us build a team now with over 100 people. We're going to close 1,100 deals, 1,100 plus in 2021, and
It's amazing.
it's all because of learning how to have a business mindset rather than self-employed, and moving from I do it to we do it and they do it, right? You kind of have to get
Exactly.
those concepts in your head. So one of the things that we are doing to help people learn that, learn how to scale, we're actually putting on a summit in Boca Raton, Florida, February 1st and 2nd, the HyperFast Summit. We've done it 4 years in a row now. This year we've got Tat Londano coming down to speak, a lot of other amazing speakers. But if you're listening to this, watching this, want to learn more about that summit, go to hfasummit.com. That's hfasummit.com. It's going to be, like always, an amazing event. But this year, more than ever, we're really focused on how to scale, how to hire, how to build, multiple teams in multiple cities, like you're doing, right? So let's talk a little bit about the expansion, right? You obviously had a great start. I think you're doing 100 deals right now in one location, right? Or is that?
Well, yeah, for me, my agents do their deals as well. So my agents
Gotcha.
on average close 1 to 2 deals a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
is the 100 like your personal deals, and then there's more outside of that? Gotcha.
Correct.
What do those numbers look like? What's the overall production of your team and brokerage?
So yeah, so very interesting. I have a very interesting. I have like what I call a team ridge, right? Like a brokerage that I run that I built that also operates as a team. In 2000, I was telling somebody else this recently. In 2019, I had 27 agents, and in 2020, 2019 December, January, I let go of about 15 of those agents because of not aligning with future goals. We have 4 core values, and it's loyalty, integrity, drive, and service. And if you're not aligned with those, like, I just don't work with it, right? Like, if there's negative energy, I don't deal with it. Like any negative energy, I just say, hey, you know what? That's not needed in my life, and I push that out. So we let go of about 15 agents in 2020 so that we could rebuild. And then obviously COVID hit, so we ended up bringing in all the way through to literally this month. We've kept those 12 core agents through those last 2 years, which is very interesting. And they do about 1 to 2 deals a month, on average, right? Like, one of my agents, closed 5 deals last month, but on average, we're closing 1 to 2 deals a month, each of those agents. In January, I'm bringing on another 12 agents. I just actually met with the last one yesterday. So bringing on another 12 agents this next month. What I did during the 2020, sit at home, try to figure out what we're going to do with our lives kind of time. I recorded like 300 something training videos. Basically from like what I wanted to do was I wanted to take my processes, and again, like, I don't want to have to sit there and train each individual agent if I want to build it to scale, right? So what I did was I filmed literally from start to finish, from why our company is called Keystone, to how to deal with your finances, to how to open a lockbox, to how to send a drip campaign, to like literally every process that you could think about in real estate. I built a video training, for my team and my my onboarding process. And so now I can hire at scale, right? On top of that, we built like a bot that checks in with each of our agents on a daily basis. So they have to in the morning, it'll send them a message like, what are you up to? What did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? What's on your game plan? Sends a message that sends them back, and so on. And then I get reports of it every single day. So like, between those 2 key components, I'm able to scale quickly and very fast. So local brokerage is going to grow. We're going to probably push to about 50 agents this next year. We're going to open another office in Sacramento. I just brought on my first agent, team lead out there. And I have about 4 or 5 other agents that have been like wanting to join our company, just couldn't because I didn't have an opportunity for them yet. So we're going to start growing that out there, and then we'll go into probably Austin and Fort Lauderdale.
What's the model going to be at the new locations? Is it going to be more team, like you generating leads, or more, brokerage model where you're bringing on people that are doing their own production primarily outside of you?
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting. So it's brokerage, right? So either way, on either side, I operate as a brokerage. Most of my agents are producing their own leads. I do supplement, right? So I tell my agents all the time, like, the leads that the team provides are supplemental deals. They are not meant to be your own business. So I have very interesting process where, like, when I bring on an agent, every single week, so my business partner is 75. He sold his first deal in 1973. And he, every single week, every single one of my agents will have a phone call with him to kind of keep on track. I call it like accountability, right? Like accountability buddy, right? Like, he's just there to like make sure they're coaching every single week. He's got a master's degree in psychology and theology. So his goal is to make sure you get out of your own way and continue to produce. I meet with every single one of my agents once a month to go over like business strategy and so on and so forth. So the goal is to help each individual agent build their own business, right? Like, I want them to have their own team. I want them to build their own team, and I will recruit for them. So in each market, I'm also not interested in recruiting agents that aren't willing to work and do their own thing. And I'm also not interested in recruiting agents that need us, right? I'd like to build something that's very different. I look at it like the music industry. The music industry for years and years and years, you have all these music labels that, you know, an artist needed those music labels to be there, right? I look at us as like an independent, as an independent label, as an independent team of agents, right? And I look at it and say, look, like, let me provide the value for you. Let me give you the kickstart. Let me give you the systems. Let me hand you everything, right? I'll show you how to do it. And call me when you need me. I'm going to be used as a resource. But at the end of the day, like, I will help you build your individual business. And that's my goal, right? Like, because I have all the systems done. Like, I was talking to one of the agents that they do about 30 million a year. And I was talking to her and about her and her partner. And I told her the other day, I was like, look, like, she was like, well, we don't want to join like another brokerage where we're going to have like to deal with, oh, you have to do it our way. And I'm like, look, like, I want to get out of your way and let you do what you do best. So let me help you build your business. And let me, you know, they were talking about opening their own office. I said, let me help you do that. Let me give you all the systems. I said, you don't know what your cost per agent is. You don't know what your when you build out and you have this CRM and then you realize that it's too expensive for scalability. Like, I figured all that stuff out. So let me hand you the package, right? Let me give you that and show you this is how I did it. And I'll walk you through it, because if you win, I win. And if you don't win, I don't win, right? My cost per agent is pretty high because of all the tech and everything that we give our agents, you know? And so understanding that, I have to make them win. And so it really is like, my goal for expansion, my goal for bringing on new agents, the goal is to bring on agents that are top producers, are going to be top producers. And if you're not, then I don't really have an interest in it, because for me, again, I'm investing my time and my efforts up front with you. So why would I want to bring on somebody that's not going to add value there?
Are you going to provide lead generation for these agents as well? I mean, it sounds like you're gonna, you know, give them great systems, give them great training, give them the things they need to make their businesses better. What about leads?
Correct. So I tell everybody this whenever I speak anywhere. I own everything I touch. If I have something in this business and we use it, I usually own a portion of it, if not all of it. And one of those is I own a real estate ads company. We're one of the best in the business, and the idea is, yes, I mean, we run ads and it's like very minimal cost for us, because all I need to do is really spend ad spend. So again, that is part of that supplemental business, right? Like, that is like the in between the deals, you got a deal, right? So for me, right, for instance, how it works now is, let's say an online lead comes in, you know, it goes through our ISA, we get a hot lead transfer, so on and so forth. It comes to us, we're all ready to go. You know, one of my agents is going to pick that up on a round robin, the agent that has time to deal with it. The other agents that are closing XYZ deals and don't have time to pick up that lead, like, it's very big in our culture to like, hey, let it go for the next person. We're a team here. Even though we're all separate individual building our businesses, we are a team. So we'll provide those leads as supplemental business. But I mean, we bring in just in our small spot, we're bringing in over 100 leads a month. Just in the, what, 13 of us on our team right now in Southern California. And again, like, minimal cost, but we close maybe out of those 100 a month, we close maybe 3-4 deals a month just off of that, just off of like Facebook leads, Instagram, so on and so forth, various sources. But the idea is, again, like, I don't want you to be dependent on the leads that I give you. Again, like, I don't want you to be dependent on me. I want to help you build your business individually. And then from there, you know, the extra sprinkles on top are great. Those leads are cool, but you're not dependent on getting leads from Cyrus. I don't believe in the model that like you have to need me. I don't want you to need me to I want you to want me, not need me, right? It's very, very real in my personal relationships as well, right? It's like at the end of the day, I want you to show up every single day and do this for yourself and build for yourself, and I'll provide the value that you need when you need it.
What are your concerns, or I guess, precautions you're taking as you overextend, to make sure you are offering a ton of value in these new areas when you open these offices?
The connection got a little spotty there.
Broke up. Yeah, I was just asking, going through expansion questions are you taking to ensure that the amazing value that you offer in your current office is, that all of that is translated, and that you're, the agents that join these new locations are getting the same great benefits and help that they get now.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that, right? So this is a big conversation that my business partner and I have is you look at, I could go all day long. All day long, I could sit there and find issues that might happen that we're gonna see with growth, and I could sit there and come up, what if this, what if that, what if this, right? And what I've realized, and what is true in my life, is a lot of the times what I end up doing is, it's like ready, fire, aim, right? Sometimes I pull the trigger very quickly, but the model that we have and the scalability is something that we can transfer pretty much in any market. Again, because I can go into a market and become a very quick market leader, and we've done it here in Southern California, right? We've done it by city, right? And so knowing that ability to be able to do it city by city, yeah, maybe it's not a whole different geographic area, a whole different state, so on and so forth, but I can do this city by city. So now if I take this model and I plug it into, again, let's say Sacramento, and I plug this model into Sacramento, I can generate leads very quickly. I know that from my ads company, right? I know that we can bring in leads. I know that we can bring that. So then it's about finding the right people. And for me, that's the most important piece. I don't care really like how much business you've done. Remember, I said I want top producers, and I want people that are going to be top producers, right? You could be $100 million top producer and have the wrong attitude and have the wrong culture. I don't want you. I don't want the negative energy. I don't want somebody that's going to bring it. So the most important thing for me is building the right group of people, because if I put the right group of people together, it's very easy to scale that, because it'll come naturally, right? So my biggest concern over building an expansion team and expansion offices is the culture involved with those offices, and that's going to be different than the culture here, right? Because very honestly, it's different lifestyles, but the core values need to stay the same. The core values are loyalty, integrity, drive, and service. And if you have those core values and people operate in those core values, that's my precaution, making sure that they're operating in that core value, right? And making sure my team lead in each spot understands that and doesn't deviate from that. And that's the biggest precaution that I'm looking at, right? Is like the people that I'm bringing on to lead those offices on a day-to-day basis need to understand who we are and why we operate in the way we operate, and then go and help us build. What I also understand is, no matter what, and I tell people this all the time, no matter who it is, when it is, what it is, people will never care as much about my company as I care about it.
Right.
It's the reality.
I mean, by definition, why would they, right? And I think that's an unrealistic expectation that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs have, and rather than fight it and get frustrated, you need to build systems around that principle.
Exactly. And so for me, for me, the goal is, right, is to get somebody that understands and believes in our core values, right? Because that's here, right? That's in their heart. You know what I mean? And if they believe in they believe in our core values, our loyalty, again, our loyalty, integrity, drive, and service, and they truly, truly, truly believe in that, then I know and I understand that you will operate and do well with our company, right? Versus, you know, hey, I do a bunch of deals and I want these top producers. If you don't operate that, you won't do well with our company and you won't last. And so my biggest precaution is the vetting of the individuals that are going to be leaders in those offices and those markets. The vetting of making sure that they understand our core values and making sure that they align with our core values, and they understand we don't want people that don't. And so if they're hiring agents and we're recruiting agents and they're meeting with them and they're hiring these agents, I don't want to hire, you know, lack of better words, assholes.
Right. I agree. I think if you sacrifice culture for in your core values for production, it may work in the short run, but over time it probably won't. And it's exciting to see someone in the business less than 5 years who's grown as much as you have, and opening new offices, but still, you know, is staying grounded to the core values, and really building your expansion with that in mind, really at the center of it, it sounds like.
Yeah, and like, you know, I think it's very interesting. Okay, so when I was younger, my dad owned a bunch of businesses. We were very well off. When my dad passed away, we lost everything. My mom started working 6 jobs. I'm the last of 5 kids. Like, that's my reality, right? And the reason I bring that up is because in everything that I've done in my life and everything that I continue to do, money is the last motivator for me. And it seems that because of that, I have been able to make more money than most people that I know and I've known in my lifetime, because of the fact that, like, that's not what drives me. Every single day I don't get up to go earn money. I get up to build the legacy. I get up to help my family. I get up to, you know, make sure my personal life is all good. Like, that's what I do every single day. And I want to make sure my team is taken care of. Like, this is what I'm doing it for. And those, again, like, again, when it comes to it, those things are a lot bigger and better motivators than, you know, making $100,000 a month or whatever it is, right?
Awesome. Well, I agree completely. I love, you know, how grounded you are, love what you're doing in business, and just love the value that and lessons you've brought our listeners and viewers today. So thank you for that. Before we wrap up, I always like to do a hyper fast round if you are ready for some rapid fire questions and answers.
I'm ready.
All right. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Fail fast and fail often.
What's a mistake that you see successful, high producing real estate agents making?
Getting complacent.
What's the biggest challenge you've had in business, and how did you overcome it?
Biggest challenge I've had in business is learning that I need to hire the right people.
Gotcha. When you're not working on your business, what would we most likely find you doing?
I own when I'm not working on any of my businesses. Hanging out with my family, pretty much. I mean, maybe going on. I have like a small boat over here, so going on that, hanging out with my family.
Awesome. Last question. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I want a nationwide brand.
All right. Well, we will definitely have you back on when that 5-year vision becomes a reality. It'll definitely be exciting to watch that. So thank you so much for the inspiration you've provided today and your story. If people that are listening want to connect with you, either agents, home buyers, home sellers, or just people that are interested in what you're doing, what are the best ways for them to connect with you?
Easiest way is Instagram. It's at Cyrus Andre, CYRUSANDRE. You can also email me, Cyrus, CYRUS, at thekeystoneteam.com, TheKeystoneteam.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Cyrus. I really appreciate all of the value you brought to our listeners and viewers, and to everyone listening in on podcast or watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave us some comments, give us some feedback, and share this with people that you think could benefit from seeing it or listening to it as well. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave